What's going on, you guys? Paul here with Paul's Performance, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have a pretty special one for you guys. I am going to be doing a little walk around, kind of update slash introduction to some of you guys on my single cab Shorty. I haven't really made that many videos on this. I know I've done the lowering, which I'll go over in this video as well. I know I haven't really talked too much about this, and I've had a lot of questions about it. I'm going to go around the truck and kind of explain what all I've done to this truck, you know, the backstory of it, some of the things that you may see in the future to come. It's going to go around and give you kind of a backstory, because this truck right here has come a long way. This truck right here, this is Paul's Performance. I've done the TDI Toyota, I've done a lot of other stuff, but this truck right here is Paul's Performance. I've kind of neglected it on the channel a little bit as far as showing it to you guys, but it's a constant, you know, project for me. We'll go around and I'll show you guys, give you the tour, add in some pictures of when I first got it, because I can promise you it did not look like this when I got it, and then try to explain some of the stuff set up under the hood, interior wise, some of the stuff I've done. So anyways, I'm going to start under the hood because I'm sure this is one of the top places that you guys wanted to see and hear about. As you may have guessed, it definitely did not look like this when I first got it. When I first got this truck, it was absolutely bone stock. An old man had driven it. It was a single cab, long bed, XL truck, hand crank windows, bench seat, the whole 9 yards. This started as a 2004 F-250. It's still a 2004 F-250, but it has a 2007 year model 6-liter, which those of you who know 6 liters know that the 07 year model got a few differences than the 04. The original motor in this was a late 04, so it was not the early 03, 04 engine, but I had an 07 that I was building to go back in this, so that's the choice I went with. The 07, in my opinion, is one of the better year models out of the 6-liter. That's what engine is in here. I built it myself here in my smaller shop. I'm not in this big shop here. With the bottom end, it is bored 30 over. I have moly ceramic coated pistons with valve reliefs. It has a stage 2 Colt cam. The whole bottom end, as far as crank and rods, are stock, but 6-liter bottom end is pretty tough, so I wasn't too worried about that. Coming up to the heads, I have Kill Devil Diesel O-ringed heads. They are still cast. I did not go with their aluminum setup just because it's too early, in my opinion, when I was building this. As you can see here, I have this cat installed here as well. I thought it was too early to go with the aluminum heads on the 6-liter. That was when they first come out with them, so I didn't want to test them out myself. O-Dog intake on top of the motor. We have a stage 3 KC turbo sitting right there in the back, and we have 200cc injectors under the valve covers. I'm trying to think if I'm missing. I know I'm missing a lot of things. Like I said, there's a lot of little odd ends that are there. Billet push rods, all that stuff, but that stuff is just kind of extras. I'm trying to go over the mains. So anyways, everything brand new from engine harness, and as you can see, I like the aluminum look. I know a lot of people don't, but I do, especially on the 6-liters. You have a lot of plastic that covers this up. Obviously, I went with the Mishimoto radiator and the Mishimoto degas bottle, and then PSP Diesel makes this shield that goes here above your cooling system. And then I also got this from PSP Diesel, which is there's usually a plastic harness tray right there. That's the 7.3 version. They have a 6-liter version that has that, you know, swoop here. I went with the 7.3 because it gives me a better view of the turbo and makes it a lot easier for if I ever have to remove the turbo. That's why I went with the 7.3 one. And like I said, I just think it's a little bit cleaner. As far as other stuff underneath the hood, you know, obviously regulated return. I have a fast 220 pumping my fuel up to this bad boy. As far as horsepower goes, I have no idea. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to want to know that. I want to know that as well, but I have not gotten this truck dynoed yet. And the reason for that is my transmission is still stock. It is not cooperating. So ever since I got this motor built like this, during my test drive, I actually broke the flex plate, still had the factory one in there. So now it has a billet flex plate and it has a Banks billet torque converter in it that I'd gotten for pretty cheap. But as far as the transmission, it's the original, and it is starting to slip. If I try to, you know, really get into it, it does not put up with that. It'll still shift. So that's why I haven't really been driving this a whole bunch, because I've been kind of putting off having to do the transmission. But once I do the transmission, that's when I want to do the dyno. So as far as under the hood, that's it. If you guys have any questions of anything else I have under the hood, leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you. Like I said, I've missed a lot because, like I said, I've done a lot to this truck, but I tried to hit the highlights, so hopefully you get the point. As far as horsepower, what I'm looking for as far as this truck, I'm hoping to have at least 600, between the 6 to 700 with the setup that I have and the tuning. I haven't been able to test my tuning. I've only been able to go to street because, like I said, the transmission is just not having it. But that's what my hopes are for, based on what I've seen other people who've dynoed with setups similar to mine. I'm hoping to see between the 6 to 700 mark, which on a single cab is pretty crazy, because this truck's stock, straight piped and tuned, was a very fun truck, and it's still a fun truck, but I'm trying not to rip the transmission through the floorboard, so I've been going easy on her. So that's it for under the hood. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave a comment. And now I'm going to move on and kind of do an outside overview of the truck, and then we'll move on to the interior. With the outside of the truck, right now it is absolutely disgusting. It's been sitting in the shop. It's got a lot of dust and whatnot all over it. I got the truck repainted a few years ago. This is a factory Ford Oxford white with the pearl, and then this is the Arizona beige. It's also a factory Ford color. That's a two-tone. I did get some extra pearl as far as added into it to give it a really deep shine in the sun. I'm sure you guys can notice this was a 04 truck originally, and this is not a 04 front end. I did do the 05 through 07 front end swap so that I could get this newer style headlights, bumper, and everything. It had a chrome bumper on it and stuff. I needed to get one that I could paint, so I got that. And the grill headlights, these are Spider headlights. I took them apart and got them color matched to the Arizona beige during the paint process. Coming around to the side of the truck, we have the 6.7 Power Stroke badge. Obviously it's missing the 6.7, but I do like the Power Stroke badge that come on those. I think it's a little bit cleaner than the ones that come on this. Badges for the F-250, these international badges, not exactly what I wanted, but like I said, it was the best looking one that I could find. Coming to the wheel setup, had a few different wheel setups on this. I may add a couple of those pictures. I've had sets of American Forces and stuff, but this is the setup I have now because it's a lot easier for me to drive the truck. The American Forces were very impractical. They looked great and they were wide and they stood up, but I love these platinum stocks. These are 2022 platinum stock wheels, straight off of a 2022 model. I got traded for my Forces and it gave me some cash, and I have a set of ridge grapplers on here. These ridge grapplers are 33s. There's the setup. These are 20s. Obviously they're the factory Ford wheels. Moving on to the rear of the truck, I thought about going with the newer style tailgate, but I ended up not doing it. I stuck with the original. I couldn't find a newer style, so that's why I don't have a newer style, but I like this one just fine. Tail lights, same thing. I ordered them, tore them down, and got them color matched to the truck. Coming out to the rest of the truck, I got a toolbox back there. I don't know if you guys really want to know that much about it. Come from Tractor Supply. I don't have much storage because it's a single cab, so I threw this in here recently when I swapped it up to the stock setup, just because I like the look of the toolbox with the stock wheel setup. Before, I had a bed cover. The only other thing that's on the outside that you guys may want to see, brakes. They're powder coated red, drilled and slotted, power stop, really nice setup. I have a set of Flight Fabrication traction bars that are underneath the truck. That keeps my rear end from yanking out from under me when I smack the throttle. So that's pretty much it for the outside. The only other thing is I did put those drop shackles in, and I'm sure that those of you guys who've seen that video are wondering what it looks like. So here you go. This is what it looks like. It looks a lot better. The rear has the 1-inch drop. I also removed 1 or 2 leaf springs originally. It's been so long since I've done it, I honestly can't remember, but I did take out at least 1 leaf spring in the rear, and then it has a 1-inch drop. The front is actually stock ride height now. This is a 2-wheel drive, so it was pretty low in the front anyways. I did have a 2-inch leveling kit there, but I did recently take that out when I lowered the rear back down with the stocks, because the only reason I had the 2-inch leveling kit was so I could clear the American Forces. I got it lowered back down, and that is actually bone stock front suspension. So now that's it for the outside. If you got questions about that, then leave me a comment. I'll try to answer it as quickly as possible. It's getting dark outside. I store this in the shop most of the time anyways. Now we're gonna do the interior. As you can see, I have all King Ranch brown interior. I love the King Ranch color brown on the inside of these Super Duties, so that's the color I decided to go with. Originally, this was hand crank windows, no power anything, and a bench seat with no power anything, manual mirrors, the whole 9 yards. I bought a power interior parts truck to swap all of the door harnesses over, so now I have power windows, power locks, and power mirrors. I did all that myself. As far as the interior goes, this was all gray. I dyed it myself to this dark brown. I have King Ranch. This is not leather because I don't really like leather. I don't like to have to really take care of leather like that. So this is the King Ranch vinyl seat recovers. This is actually reupholster. You can buy these sewn up for Super Duties and put them on yourself, and that's what I did. My center console is out of a 2017 F-250. I think it comes in a lot of the base models. I'm not sure how high it goes up. Just a middle seat, so it's not a platinum or anything like that. It was originally gray, and I dyed that black. I really want to get a really nice center console, but I just hadn't run across one yet, so that's the one I have in there right now. As far as gauges go, I have my glow shifts here. They're not the best gauges around, but they do the job. I also have a scan gauge here that gives me more accurate readings on stuff I need to look at. But like I said, this is mainly for looks, but it also does give me somewhat of what's going on with some of the different systems that I have on the truck. Still has my factory work mat in here. I didn't want to go with carpet because I actually like this mat. It's a whole lot easier to keep clean, so I did leave that in there from the work truck. Other than that, as far as the interior goes, that's about it, other than changing the color and going power. If you have any questions about that, I'll try my best to answer. Obviously, this has remote start. If you've seen the video, if not, go check that one out. Still has the radio that come in it, which is not stock. It's a Sony radio. I do plan on putting an Apple CarPlay radio in this, but just haven't gotten to it yet. Other than that, that's it for the inside. All right, guys, so that concludes my Shorty tour for you guys. I know it's not every single detail about it, but I hope it was enough for you guys to kind of get your introduction, because you will be seeing it on the channel because it's not going anywhere, and I do have things that I need to get done to it. Right now, I need to put a starter back on it because the brand new Motorcraft starter I got just died. I got that getting rebuilt at a local shop. Then I need to do my front end alignment from where I took leveling kit out, which I said I've been doing for the last 6 months. I need to do that, and then obviously I need to do the transmission at some point, but we'll probably just keep putting that off until it integrates itself. I know some of you guys may have some questions about how it become a Shorty, because I did make that happen. This truck was originally a single cab long bed. They don't make a single cab short bed Super Duty that come with a diesel in it. I think they might have made it with the gas model, but I know they didn't make it with a diesel model. This one was two-wheel drive long bed. I shortened it myself. It is not that hard of a project to do. 16 inches of straight frame rail right behind the cab that you chop out, shorten brake lines, fuel lines, and the drive line, and that's it. So it's really not that hard to do of a job. There's lots of write-ups on other people who have done it. Ford must have known you were going to do it because of this straight frame rail. I'm not going to go over that too much. If you have any questions about that, I mean, I can try to help. I can tell you what I've done to mine, but like I said, I did shorten it myself. If you have any questions about the truck, the build, anything you guys want to see on the truck, specifically videos, please leave a comment, and like I said, we'll try to make it happen. You will be seeing a lot more of this truck, so I figured it was about time for our introduction to the Shorty. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.